So for 1984, we touched on kind of like the top 5 moments and the top five, rappers that chronologically, I ain't gonna say I feel chronologically for that year, which the data and the research kind of say these were the people that had like the most popping activity, records, concerts, whatever. So we're gonna hit these runner ups real quick. Houdini. You heard of Houdini? So yeah, I met a couple of them when I worked at the record company back in from '95 to '98.
I know the song Friends and Freaks about it.
Yeah, the Freaks Come Out at Night. Well, Friends was like a big hit commercially. I want to say that's the joint that they recorded and Jody Watley was singing on the hook, and that was like big on that side of the game. But Freaks Come Out at Night was definitely like, obviously I was a kid, but once again, as a kid, being at the parties, that my mom would go to with the adults, seeing how they would be hyped, and that, I could tell it was one of them joints. You know what I'm saying? 5 Minutes of Funk. While I don't clearly remember it on the radio, I know that a popular video show called Video Music Box would use that instrumental as the theme music to the hip hop show, and it was Ralph McDaniels who was the host of that show. But basically Houdini, they blended R&B and electronic sounds and combined it with storytelling rap. So shouts out to them. I gotta jump over to the West Coast because a lot of people may, look at this hip hop thing. It started, of course, in the New York and the East Coast, but it's starting to become more involvement from the West Coast. So I want to highlight, even though I got Ice-T on there, but the cat in the background is um, Chris the Glove Taylor. This dude is low key, probably as great of a producer, dare I say, engineer as Dr. Dre. He worked with a lot of people. His production sounds, he kind of helped lay the groundwork for gangster rap from the production audio standpoint. He did a lot of production on the Chronic and Snoop's first album that he never really got credited for, because that was the era of niggas doing other niggas dirty once they started to kind of get into some kind of positions of power within the music industry. They were done dirty, so now Dr. Dre was doing him dirty just to say it, you know what I mean? Because, that's what it was. Dr. Dre ain't start giving niggas production credits until like Mailman, or you may have heard of the nigga Mailman, but he was one of the niggas who did production with Dre on the whatever the latest Chronic was from like 2001 that was popping, like the good one, you know what I mean? Not that Aftermath or whatever the fuck it was called, but that was probably the first nigga that niggas was like, oh shit, Dr. Dre trying to give other niggas credit, but it was this nigga who was that first assistant nigga, you know what I mean? But he produced some of Ice-T's earliest joints. So then you got Fat Boys. They broke into pop culture. They dropped the album. Well, really, I think it was the album. The album was called Jailhouse Rap, and then the single was called Fat Boys. So these are another remnant of the old school coming into the new school, because that's their old school group name, the Disco 3. Hence that disco influence. But basically, for all intents and purposes, looking back at it in hindsight, uh, I guess they were obviously very not just. Not gonna take nothing away from their lyrical ability for that time, but it was more of a gimmick situation. And then from a social standpoint, it's kind of foul that they exploited their weight.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could have used any other name for the group. And then in damn near every picture, they got food.
Right.
This is like one of the few pictures I tried to find, like with these
Well,
artists.
they look cool.
Yeah. Like, even though I always try to throw at least an album cover in there, but there was no getting around it with that. But, you know, I was like, let me just throw a picture that make them look good.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Especially because like Disco 3 is like a neutral.
Like,
yeah. I was gonna say though, I noticed that their chains have pendants now. And
Yeah.
Really, like the thick Cuban link era.
Yeah. Now that's funny because like that's a good observation. Everybody else just got the chain, but nothing hanging on it. Yeah.
It looked like they all had like their kind of thinner gold chains, whereas like those are the kind of like what we think of like the iconic '80s like hip hop gold chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. These are the Dookie chains.
Right.
I didn't even peep it, but I think Buff, Prince Marky D, Buff, and I forgot this brother's name. I think he the only one that's still alive out of the three, and he's skinny now. Well, skinny compared to what he was. He got gold grills in his mouth. So I ain't peeped that, at least in the earlier videos that I've done.
Yeah.
I ain't seen nobody with gold grills yet. So he might have been low key one of the first niggas rocking gold grills.
His Prince Marky.
Yeah, exactly. You know I'm petty. So yeah. So for all those
we got another
1984, we finally have a Puerto Rican contributor.
Like in a mainstream context.
Exactly. Shout out to Prince Marky D and his family. You know, like I always say, you know, my whole flex and watching my whole video catalog for those who go through it, I got nothing but love for everyone who is part of the culture, who contributed to the culture. Y'all got me fucked up when you say that, y'all contributed. When I say y'all, I really mean Fat Joe, and I have to lump Angie Martinez in there, and I have to lump Crazy Legs in there, because these three Puerto Ricans are trying to rewrite history when, like in the interview, they were like, we were there. Okay, nigga, I was plenty of places too, but just because I was there at the party or at the studio session where a famous R&B or rap nigga might have been recorded, I didn't play a part in the motherfucker. I was just a spectator or a witness. Talk about we were there like that, and then Fat Joe was like, yeah, we were there. We did this shit 50-50. Nigga, eat a dick, nigga. Fuck you 1,000 times over. And fuck Jada Kiss for doing a podcast with your bitch ass, knowing that you disrespected all black people. Talk about these broke ass black people. It was these broke black people who supported your career, who embraced you with open arms in '93. You know what I'm saying? So once again, eat a dick, nigga. You doing business with these whites and Jews, in the industry, and they whatever they putting in your ear, they got you feeling like you better than the motherfucking culture that helped birth you, nigga. Fuck out of here. But anyway, on to the next. So you have the Treacherous 3. I don't even know if you ever, you probably never even heard it, but like when they get to the music segment where I play the actual snippets, we'll get to it. But that's Kool Moe Dee, of course, because I'm so used to seeing him my whole life with him wearing them thick ass blue blocker type glasses. He's like, that's what he looked like behind it. But yeah, they had like I guess a hit called Santa Rap, which was, I guess, for the soundtrack of Beat Street. So I guess this was just an example of how, rap had other, marketing type purposes or whatever. So we'll move on. So the LL Cool J, his first hit, I Need a Beat, that dropped on Def Jam at 16. He made his little mark on the scene at that point. He really, like I said, as a kid, You know, whoever else was popping, I knew that's who I was locked in with, and he was the face really of the new school, along with Run DMC, of course, but obviously closer in age
Yeah.
to the youth.
How do you know how old Run DMC were roughly? Because they all look kind of eight.
Well, yeah, it's funny. No, it's funny
picture.
because a lot of and I think historically, I ain't gonna say historically, but yeah, sort of historically, a lot of cats don't really get on into like they mid to like late 20s. Like the Woo, most of them niggas was damn near
Right.
DMX,
Mm.
Jay-Z, sorta. Like he was, trying to get on when he was a teen to his early 20s, but he didn't really drop that first album until he was damn near like 25, 26. So it's very rare to have like artists that are young,
Yeah,
like a
like
Lil
Nas,
Wayne or Nas, but
I mean, it's possible though that your Wayne gets big as rappers, like, and then generally something like up at ages, like especially because like a lot of rappers from my generation are so directly inspired by Lil Wayne.
mm,
I think Lil Wayne did kind of shift like the effect of his popularity did I think make labels like want to look into like marketing hip hop as like even more like youth oriented kind
yeah,
of thing.
no, that sounds fair. That sounds fair. Like even in my generation, we had
Future was damn near 30 when he blew up. But like outside of him, like Young Thug was like 20 by the or like 21 when Stoner became a hit. Like Cardi, all those like some SoundCloud guys were very young too.
hmm
But yeah,
yeah,
so,
no, we had a few young ones like Chris Cross, Lil Vicious, Shaheen.
it was kind of like,
but it was still very rare.
Right. It was like a kind of a novelty. Like
Exactly.
the thing was that they were young. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.